Good morning and welcome to Coffee and the Word. Hark, the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King. This Christmas carol, this hymn, has been sung for years and years and years, and it was written by a man named Charles Wesley. And the reason that Charles Wesley wrote many of his songs, he wrote almost 7,000 hymns, and the reason he wrote songs, or the reason he wrote poetry and songs, is so that people who were illiterate could learn and hear the gospel message. As many of you know, we learn music, we learn songs, and we can sing them without seeing words after we hear them many times. And so Charles Wesley wrote songs so that people could hear the gospel message even if they weren't literate, and they could memorize it, and they could take it in and accept the reality of it and glorify God in it. And so he wrote Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and I've sung this song almost all my life, and I've never really realized how unbelievably amazing the words are in this song. This is of all the songs we've done thus far, this song is one of the most theologically dense songs that we sing for Christmas. And so I want to focus on just the very first part. I don't know how much of the song we're going to be able to get through in a week because, like I said, it's theologically thick. He's got so much in it that is so encouraging. And so when you sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing after this week, I hope that it incites in you a realization of the true glory of God and what he accomplished through Christ Jesus. And so the first part of the song says, Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. And so he starts with this concept of peace on earth. And I think anybody who pays attention to the reality of the coming of Jesus and what all transpired during his life, in his life, at his death, I think it would be difficult for us to come to the conclusion that what Jesus accomplished was peace on earth, right? I mean, there isn't a lot of peace on earth. In fact, even especially in his time, there didn't seem to be much peace at all on earth. The Roman government was occupying the Jerusalem, and of course, Jesus was eventually taken and beaten and hung on a cross for rules he didn't break, laws he didn't commit, or laws he didn't break. And so, and we find after that, we find the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, and, just look at history. Peace is not something that we have seen accomplished on earth, at least not in the sense that we think of peace. The lion and the lamb are not lying down together. And so, when we read this line, peace on earth and mercy mild, I think we tend to believe, or we tend to think, that what Jesus came to do, he failed at. And we don't really want to say that, but if Jesus came to bring peace on earth, why are there still so many wars? Why is there still so much conflict? Why has there been continued conflict from, basically the dawn of time? And I think the next line is what we need to understand. The peace that God is offering happens because of the peace that happens between God and man. God and sinners reconciled. You see, I believe we've lost some theological truth in our lives. I believe that we have a tendency, because we live on this side of the cross, we have a tendency to believe that God owes us something. You know what I mean? Like, we have a tendency to believe that God should, protect us. God should bless us. God should, and fill in all the blanks. What the part of the theology that we tend to miss is the truth of the fact that God should condemn us. God should judge us. God should turn his back on us. And you're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, what we need to understand about God is he is a God of justice. And we read through scriptures and we know, even if we don't consider the Roman road, right? All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. There is none righteous, no, not one. Even if we don't consider that, if we just look at the history of mankind and we see the reality of our own estate, if we see the fact that we have continually turned to selfishness and lusts, if we just pay attention to the fact that when left to our own devices, we become destructive, then we would realize that what God could do is do what we saw him do a lot in the Old Testament, which is, you would watch the Israelites who were God's people, that they would, somebody who was leading them would die, and they would immediately turn to idolatry and wickedness, and even up to and including sacrificing their own children. I mean, it's like we have this yearning as people to pull to whatever is the most beneficial to us in the moment, instead of pulling toward God. And so sin separated us from God, not just because God can't be near sin, but because the sinful aren't trying to be near God. Are you with me on this? And so when we read this song, hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. You see, what God did by sending his son is he tore down that wall of separation that is our flesh. And I think Paul does one of the best jobs with this in Romans chapter 7 when he says, I don't do what I want to do, and what I want to do I don't do, and oh wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death? And then he says, thanks be to God. Like, what God accomplished by sending his son was peace between God and man. And it's more than that. He not only was able to reconcile with us, he was able to reconcile with us to such a degree that allowed him to send forth his Spirit to dwell within us, to lead us into righteousness. So I want you to understand, when you sing this first line of this song, hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. That reconciliation that God took the initiative in by sending Jesus to be born of a virgin is maybe the greatest love story ever told. The God who made us loved us so much that instead of destroying us because of our wickedness, he decided to reconcile with us by having his son pay the price for our wickedness, so that the barrier that was between us and him could be removed, and that all who call on the name of the Lord will be saved. I love this song in a way that I never have before, and I can't wait to share all of the beauty that is wrapped in this one song. And it's such a beautiful song, but I can't wait to share the gospel with you this week. God and sinners reconciled. Peace on earth and mercy mild. I hope and pray that we as a people, maybe this week, and I hate to be too hopeful, but I hope this week, as this song is unpacked, we will come to recognize the gospel for what it is, the good news about Christ Jesus that rescued us from death and brought us to life. I believe the gospel is the greatest story ever told, with the greatest implications ever imagined, with the grandest hope ever dreamed of. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Anyway, we'll pick up on this tomorrow. We'll look at it a little further. For today, I hope you have a wonderfully awesome Monday, and I hope you'll consider whether or not you've accepted this reconciliation of God through his Son, Christ Jesus. And you'll turn to him, and you'll surrender to him, and you'll glory in what he's offering, because the next verse is joyful, all ye nations rise. That's an awesome thing. Anyway, today has been another edition of Coffee and the Word. God bless.